Good evening, Lobo fans. We welcome you live inside Revel Entertainment's Draft Day Sports Bar. It is our National Signing Day show, live on the UNM Sports Radio Network. It's great to have you all here. Thanks for being with us tonight. It's a special edition of Lobo Talk tonight. It is National Signing Day. We have Lobo Head football coach Danny Gonzalez. We're going to talk about UNM's spectacular 2021 class. The Lobos have picked up 12 new players on offense, 12 new players on defense, and as always, you feel like it is a tremendous class. Only the difference is this year that the University of New Mexico actually had a chance to recruit as they always do, as they always have. That is, go out on recruiting trips, bring recruits in for official visits, plan special recruiting events on site at University Stadium, at the Todium Complex. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube today. The New Mexico Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages, and you can watch the show with us there. We've got 10-minute videos, both offense and defense. We're going to devote about 45 seconds to a minute on every single player in both the offense and defensive sides of the ball in this entire class. I can't wait to do that with Coach Gonzalez. Coach G, how you doing? Welcome onto the program. And look at this turnout. You have your whole staff here. The fans have come out. And how about Danny Chavez stepping up last minute to put this together at Revel? Unbelievable.
He's unbelievable. And I appreciate all his support that he's done all year long. I mean, Revel Entertainment is an amazing building. There's great food, great drinks, all kinds of TVs. It couldn't be any better.
Fantastic location. We're live at Revel Entertainment. We're just off I-25. It's the Montgomery exit. Take it west, head to Renaissance, a quick left. It hooks around at the stop sign. You turn left there. It's 4720 Alexander Boulevard Northeast. We're at Revel Entertainment. We're here all the way till 7 o'clock. We're talking Lobo football with you and Lobo recruiting with you. And Coach G, the needs that you have filled with this class, I think, is it fair to say it started with offensive line?
Absolutely. Especially after we had a couple that decided to go a different direction. We lost some depth there, so that was a priority, and I thought the coaches did a great job. I think we were enhanced by the transfer portal. I thought that helped us out, but I thought we established that. We signed 6 O-linemen today, 3 of them which will be here to start the semester in January. So I thought it was we did a good job of finding guys that, and they're going to be here for 3 years. That's even the best part.
So they're going to be here for 3 years. It's essentially like, because you've talked about this, you want players that you can develop. You want players that are going to be here for the long haul. It's not a junior college player that has max 2 years where the first year, sometimes they're just getting their feet wet, and then you only have 1 year left with them.
Correct.
This is like bringing in a freshman that's got a year of maturity on him.
It does. It's exactly right. And then we get 3. Some of them, in some cases, they have 4 years of not eligibility, 4 years to play 3. And we use that to develop them. I mean, we have a couple on our team right now. Jake Saltonstall was that way. And we still have Jake for 2 more years. So the 3 young men that we're bringing in at semester, J.C. Davis, and on the tight end position, in the O-line position, DJ Wingfield and C.J. Collins, those guys have a chance to do some really special things because they'll be here 6 months earlier than if they just came in August.
We are live at Revel Entertainment. Food, drinks, live music, all under one roof. Your home for Lobo Talk all season long. And the site of our National Signing Day show tonight is Revel Entertainment, right here at 4720 Alexander Boulevard Northeast. We're inside the Draft Day Sports Bar. This great venue has 4 different menus from which to choose. More than 60 brews on tap. They've got an entertainment area in the back with all kinds of games that you can play. If cornhole's your thing, if pickleball's your thing, they've got a dueling piano bar with live music in there all the time. And you told us very recently that Mr. Chavez has secured permitting. He's going to have a little amphitheater in here?
They're going to start it in January, and they expect it to be done by May, having their first concert.
Unbelievable venue, yeah, and it really is your one-stop shop. Hey, TLC wants to thank customers for trusting TLC with home and business service needs. TLC here for you when you need us most. Go Lobos. Okay, so We've talked about the offensive line and the importance of getting depth there. You know that you needed speed. You've talked about that. You want those guys that can take it to the house at the drop of a hat. Were you able to fill that in this year's class as well?
We were. We've got 7 kids that run sub 10-700 meters. And we've got 2 of them, the quarterback, Lamar Sanders, and the running back, Christian Washington. They're both 10-5 kids that every time they touch the ball, there's a chance it's going to be a touchdown. That was, I think, what was the biggest thing we were missing was the guy that could make a miss in the hole and then accelerate and go 80 yards. We could go 80 yards if everybody was blocked up right and they didn't have angles. Well, now we got guys that they're going to have a hard time catching.
So guys that when they get out into the open field, it's not just a big gainer, it's a house call.
Exactly. I mean, the Terrion Gibson, Lamar Jordans, those kind of guys that every time they touch it, there's a chance it's going to be a touchdown. And I thought we were missing that, and I thought we've done a good job to address it.
Coach G, here in just a couple of minutes, we're going to get a chance to talk with your outstanding recruiting coordinator, Jordan Somerville. And I wanted you to give the fans a little window into what he means to your program and how much he brings to the table and how crucial his work is in the organizational aspect of everything that goes on at this time of year, because you guys are fanning out all over the country, and obviously it comes to fruition with 24 signees today.
Coach Somerville does an outstanding job of getting all the coaches on the same page. His time as a recruiting coordinator does not just come during the time that we're signing kids and doing all those things. It's a year-round job. We evaluate kids year-round, whether it be as a full staff, whether it be coaches doing their areas, trying to get them so that we can get them in front of the full staff, and then organizing where everybody's going, and then also who's coming in. And so he's a young coach that does an outstanding job of those things. We're very fortunate to have him on our staff, and all this work, the majority of it was led by his direction.
Route 66 Casino Hotel is proud to be an official Lobo Athletics sponsor. Get your kicks only at Route 66 Casino Hotel. Obviously, the fans here in New Mexico love when New Mexico kids are part of every signing class, and you get to boast 4 full scholarship signees for 2021, don't you?
We're going to take 4 or 5 every year, and there's going to be some years that we might not have 4 that would be projected as a Division I football player, but we're going to evaluate and project them to be. And I think we got the 4 best ones. The school down south didn't get any, so it's an advantage and a cool to us. We're getting Tyler Keaney back from UCLA, who 2 years ago we tried to get him to stay. I don't blame him for taking a chance at an opportunity. He decided it wasn't the right opportunity for him 2 years later, and so because he did it the right way on his way out. He didn't burn any bridges. I was excited to take him back. And when I hugged him and told him good luck when he told me he was going to UCLA, I told him we're going to try and whoop your tail in 2025, and I can't wait. I'll find you after the game, win or lose. Well, I can promise you this, in 2025, Tyler's going to have a lot more to play for, so it'll be fun.
All right, before we get to a break, Chase Christensen is our director on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. He's put up the map of the breakdown of this year's class and where all these great players come from. You can see the 4 there from New Mexico. A half dozen players from Texas and California. Your footprint in both of those locations is huge, isn't it?
It is huge. I mean, the California kids, I mean, we kind of went a little bit more NorCal and SoCal. We spread it out. We still stayed a little bit away from the beach if we could. And then the 6 kids in Texas, I mean, it's easy to get back and forth. I thought our coaches did a great job in Oklahoma, Kansas, and then we ventured out. We had kids that showed interest. Glover Quinn, a great all-time Lobo, called me and told me that he had a nephew down in Mississippi that could play, that grew up right across the street from where Glover grew up. And we fended off multiple people, but we had a great guy in our corner, and he assured me that Jamarius was coming, and Jamarius signed. So we stretched out. We all went all the way up to Massachusetts. We have a couple from Florida and Georgia. So we're really excited about the brand of Lobo football out there.
So we're going to take our first break, Coach G. When you rejoin us, we're going to dig into the recruits on the offensive side of the ball. But after this first time out, we're going to hear directly from Jordan Somerville, your recruiting coordinator. So you go ahead and mingle with the fans for a little bit, and we'll see you in about 8 or 10 minutes or so, and we'll get into that offensive side and all the great recruits that you've signed in this year's class.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Lobo football coach Danny Gonzalez. Remember the greats and preserve their legacy. Get all your autographed memorabilia at All In Autographs, sports, movies, music, trading cards, all at All In Autographs in Hoppentown Square and allinautographs.com. Recruiting coordinator for the Lobos, Jordan Somerville, joins us next. We're live at Revel Entertainment. It's the National Signing Day Show on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
It's the Malloy Los Lunas.
The Sports Animal.
Hey, Lobo fans, we're back inside Revel Entertainment, 4720 Alexander Boulevard Northeast. It's your home for Lobo Talk and your home for today's National Signing Day Show. We're live at the Draft Day Sports Bar at Revel Entertainment. Just get off I-25, head west. The exit is the Montgomery Montano exit. A couple of lights down at Renaissance left, then hook a quick left at the stop sign on Alexander, and Revel is on your right. You can't miss us. We're tucked in right behind the Top Golf. Our marketing crew is here. UNM Athletics marketing crew is here. The winners of our first two prize packs tonight are Kimberly and Lance. We'll be giving away two prize packs every segment throughout the show. So congrats to them. Come and see us. We're here till 7. You just might walk out with some Lobo goodies. Mountain Dew's a proud partner of Lobo Athletics. Cheers to the Lobos and UNM fans everywhere. We are New Mexico. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the running backs coach and recruiting coordinator for Lobo football, Jordan Somerville. Coach Somerville, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Excellent. It's great to have you back here at Revel. We've done this on Lobo Talk, but this is a special day. This is,
Yes, it is.
NLI Day. It all comes to fruition. I know there are a few more spots out there, and there
Yep.
will be a few more signees down the road in this recruiting class, but this is the big portion of it. 24 guys. I can't even imagine the amount of work that goes in, Coach.
That's funny. Yeah, it's enjoyable. I'll tell you that, and it is a lot. But it's exactly what Coach Gonzalez said. It's about pouring into these guys and understanding what we're doing it for and bringing these guys in. Number one thing, getting an education. And so being able to, talking to families this morning and congratulating them on a moment where education is taken care of. And so that's it. It all comes back, and it keeps us all in perspective at the end of the day.
So what I really wanted to ask you about in our short segment here is the return to something close to normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what has it been like planning recruiting events and bringing kids on campus again? It's really been 2 years since you've done what would be quote-unquote normal
Right.
in the recruiting game.
Right.
You guys actually got to go out and make home visits again
Yeah.
and see players in person and see them on a field.
Yep.
And then have them come to New Mexico. How's that been?
That's been awesome. It's we got started about a few months before we were able to hit the road and start planning that out. And so just being able to get back and have feet on the ground where those guys are working day in and day out at their high school, and being able to go to their home and you get to see where's home for them and mom and dad, and sitting down it's definitely a different it's back to normalcy again. Being able to just sit down with mom and dad on the couch or breaking bread together, it's a blessing to get back going to that.
Let's give Lobo fans who are just joining us an idea of the footprint that New Mexico has placed on the map, on the U.S. map, the different states that are part of this recruiting class. We're showing that right now to fans who are watching us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Texas, California, New Mexico, Florida, Kansas, Georgia, Mississippi, Massachusetts, Oklahoma, 24 in all. How do you make this happen?
So the way we go about recruiting in terms of the geographical map, it's a little bit different, but I'll tell you this. We look at Southwest is a big friend of ours, and why I say that, we look at nonstop flights out of Albuquerque and where did those land, and at those spots, that's where targets are hit, right? And so to that, we go to our resources. Coach Gonzalez mentioned Glover Quinn having family members to the program, and we reach out across the country wherever we can get, where families have connections to the program. It means a lot more to them, right? And so that's where we find our niche.
Also, and it's not just blood family, but it's Lobo family too, right? A former player, Donovan Portery, helped with a recruit in this class, didn't he?
Right. Yeah, and so whatever we can do to again, use our resources. We got to maximize our resources as much as possible. And like Coach Gonzalez said at the very beginning, it's about people. And so people, the past, the present, and the future, right? And so everything we can do to build connection from the past to the future, we're going to do so, and use that avenue every single time we're building a class.
Final question, and it's just a people question. These great coaches on this staff that are your team, your recruiting team, Coach Gonzalez's recruiting team, they're here. They're mingling with fans tonight. How good are they at what they do, and how important are they to this Lobo program?
Everything. And Coach Gonzalez hit on it about it's once we get kids on campus, our players have to take over, and our players can speak on our behalf. But it's the coaches a long stint from home. And a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hard work just to go out and making sure we're sitting down in these homes and mom and dad feel good about the men we are. And so that's the biggest thing is that we have to sacrifice time away from our family, and we do have to spend time with another young man's family, and we have to make sure they feel comfortable with us. That's the most important thing, and understand that we're in it for them, and that's we what our job is to serve, and that's the biggest thing that all these men that Coach Gonzalez has brought together. I would say the biggest thing that we're all on the same page with is going out and spreading that message that we're here to serve, and that's the biggest thing is that getting on the same page of what message we're all bringing, right, and then hitting the ground running. That's the biggest thing. It's the time away from home and willingness, and making sure that your energy is the same when you step on the plane to hit the road when you get back and you have official visits. And so it's a grind, I'll tell you that. But nobody's complaining. A lot of smiles and a lot of guys ready to work.
Well, Coach Somerville, Lobo fans are comfortable with having you leading the recruiting efforts for Lobo football. Thanks so much for being with us, and congratulations.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you greatly.
Jordan Somerville, Lobo recruiting coordinator. Hey, Lobo fans, Lobo Athletics, much better with a crisp Bud Light at your game. Keep it crisp, Lobos. Please drink responsibly. Okay, we welcome back Coach Gonzalez. On the other side, we look at the recruits on the offensive side of the ball. We're live at Revel Entertainment inside the Draft Day Sports Bar. It's our NLI show, live on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Welcome back live inside Revel Entertainment. It's our National Signing Day show for football. We have Lobo Head football coach Danny Gonzalez. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. Are you looking for a professional property management company you can rely on for all your needs? Start and end your search right here at Maddox Management. We're ready to be your exceptional partner when it comes to managing your property. And as we live and work in the communities we serve, you can rest assured we'll see them thrive together. Learn more. Visit MaddoxMGMT.com. We're at Revel Entertainment, 4720 Alexander Boulevard Northeast. It is off of I-25 West at the Montano Montgomery exit. A couple of lights down to Renaissance, left turn, and then a quick left at the stop sign. As you hook around, it hits the stop sign, make a left there. That's Alexander. Rebels on your right. Join us. We're all the way till 7 o'clock. Congratulations to Bob, to John, and to Lance, all winners of prize packs tonight here at Revel Entertainment, courtesy of our Lobo marketing department. Thanks for being with us. And Coach G, let's get right after it. Offensive side of the ball. These are the needs on the offensive side. This is what you have returning here. Some key returners there: Dumas, Cole, Wysong, Erickson, Bruckler, and then red shirts that'll be available: Matautia, Jones, Suman, and Johnson. So let's get right into a highlight video of the 12 offensive recruits that you picked up here for the 2021 class. It starts with Myron Carter.
Good running back out of Spring, Texas. You watch him here, he's got some explosiveness right to him. He's one of the ones that I'm talking about. He's going to be a 10-700 meter guy. They've got angles on him and they ain't catching him.
So it's the speed here. This is it. When we were talking about it in the opening segment, it's the speed, the breakaway speed.
Speed, and you can line him up and slot. You can put him out of the backfield and throw it to him. He's explosive and he's strong. He's built. He's 190 pounds. He's got a chance. Look, watch his agility right here. Watch him quickness make this guy miss and get vertical.
So now you recruited him as an athlete, and we've got him on the offensive side of the ball, and these highlights are terrific, but he played some defense too. Is this a versatile kid, right?
He is. We're going to start him on offense, but he is.
Okay. Now J.C. Davis on the offensive line.
This young man will be here in January. He's the one that we had to fend off Boise State in the end. Big kid that just real athletic. He's long. He's a 6'5" kid that can move in space. He's real physical. I mean, you can watch his technique right here. He's just strong. We don't have that right now.
I've noticed that there's some more mature, bigger, stronger, more physical 300-pound guys in the offensive line portion of your recruiting class.
You know, it's the advantage of actually going out and seeing them in person and getting to see what they actually look like and not relying on a computer.
Hey fans, we're at Revel Entertainment. Food, drinks, live music, all under one roof. The official watch party location for Lobo Athletics, Revel Entertainment. Okay, now Will Dennis, a tight end.
He's a tight end H-back like Trace Bruckler. We can move him around. You're going to see a lot of on the ball, really good athletes in space. He's a 6'4", 240-pound kid that's got great hands. He's physical. He can move across the pocket and block and do all those things like a fullback, but he's got the opportunity to create some matchup problems in space. So he's a big kid. He was a big-time baseball player out of high school. I mean, they thought he was going to be a top 10 MLB draft pick, went to the University of Oklahoma to play baseball, and ended up with dead arm. So he decided to go to Coffeyville and play some football, and it worked out to our advantage.
And that's a great program, that Coffeyville Community College program. And Coach, I see this in the comments from so many of these guys. I love the coach's mentality. The program is on the rise. Okay, what about Donald Dixon, an O-lineman?
This young man might be the most athletic recruit out of all of them. Better than our DBs, he just moves. He's fluid. This is the exact kid I'm talking about that would not be at the University of New Mexico if it wasn't for the transfer portal. People overlooked him because they were recruiting other people's players, and we're going to luck out and look at him move. I mean, he's going to be a big-time player that he's just an athlete at 300 and some pounds that can run. He's light on his feet.
Hey, if you're with us here at Revel, you're enjoying these highlights on the big screens inside the Draft Day Sports Bar as Coach G is talking about these recruits. The technical capabilities here at Revel Entertainment, phenomenal in the Draft Day Sports Bar. Okay, Colin James. What about this young man?
Played center for Abilene Christian this year. He's a great athlete. I mean, he can snap the ball and get out. He moves across. He's one that he's played. So he went to Lackawanna Junior College in Pennsylvania, and then he went to Abilene Christian. He played during the COVID year. So he's got another 3 years to go. You can see he can play center. He's a big body. He's another 6'4" kid, 300-pounder that has really good feet, and he'll be here for spring ball.
You got to be able to move if you're playing center too, right? So he's very agile.
Very agile, really quick-footed. Obviously, you got to be able to get your hands up when you're snapping the ball and still be able to do those things. And he's got an attitude to him. I'm really excited about, the fact that all three of those kids will be here during spring ball is amazing.
Okay, Caden Romero, local product from Rio Rancho.
Caden he had an injury during the All-Star game, but he's a 6'5", 330. You can't teach 6'5". And so we've really increased our length and our size.
335?
335, and he's actually lost some weight. He came to our camp at 360. He's already lost 30 pounds to get where we need him, and he's got some punch to him. So he needs to get his ankle and his leg fixed, and he will, and he'll be back out in a Lobo uniform, and we're excited about him. He's a Rio Rancho product.
So excited to stay home and play close to family and friends here at Rio Rancho High School. Standout, and I'm telling you, the speed at his size, the ability to move, really impressive. Okay, what about Lamar Sanders?
Lamar Sanders is the quarterback from Port Arthur Memorial. Same school as Donovan Porter-Reeve for the people that know. He's got the ability to take it vertical. Now he's about a 5'10" quarterback, much like Lamar Jordan. He's got the ability to make people miss, and then when he turns on the burners, they aren't going to catch him.
So he's got the ability to take it to the house. He said he loves the environment that he found here at the University of New Mexico. What is that environment? Why are so many kids saying that?
Well, we have a really good family culture. Watch him throw it. Watch him spin it now. He can put the ball on the money and throw it over the shoulder. I mean, he can get it to him.
Back shoulder throw there.
I think we've got a great environment because of our coaches. I mean, they're great fathers, they're great husbands, they're great men, and they get to see it. And I think the parents walk away believing in that.
And this is a true dual threat, right? He threw for 2,000. He rushed for almost 1,500. He's going to be a problem both on the ground and through the air.
He is, and I'm excited about him. I wish he'd be here in the spring. He won't. He'll be here next year. This one right here is Zach Veal from Rio Rancho High School. This was against Cleveland in the regular season where he rushed for over 300 yards. Those uniforms are ugly, but that's okay. It's kind of like I know the Coach Al's. He kept traditional colors at Revel. So Coach Benoni, I'm not picking on him. But Zach Veal had a great day this day, over 300 yards rushing. He got banged up against the Cueva, so give the Cueva credit. Hunter probably hit him. Had some rib injuries, so he wasn't the same in the championship game, but he had a great day.
Okay, what about Christian Washington from San Diego?
Christian Washington, much like Donald Dixon, is a kid that I don't think we would have at the University of New Mexico if it was for the transfer portal. This young man, every time he touches it, can go 80 yards. He's a 10, 500-meter kid. He's a great football player out of a great school. So this is the school that Reggie Bush went to. Marcus Smith, for those Lobo fans, went to Helix out of San Diego. And Christian Washington is one that he's 190 pounds. He's about 5'11". So he's a thick, compact, but watch him cut in the hole like Dontrell used to do and then get vertical. I really, truly believe he's a Power 5 running back that because of the transfer portal, he's at the University of New Mexico. Now, we had built a relationship with him. I know Coach Owens at Helix High School. And so the kid, we gave him an opportunity, and he's going to be a big-time player.
Okay, Tristan White from North Crowley in the Fort Worth area.
He is same school as Ronald Wilson. We've got a couple guys now. We're getting a North Crowley connection because of Coach Linsmeyer. He's a slot wide receiver that's another 10, 700-meter kid that when we throw it out there on the perimeter, they're going to have a hard time catching him. I think this is what we've been missing. We don't have that gear that when they accelerate, the guys don't catch them even if they have angles.
So you're talking about Sanders, Veal, Washington, now White. These are all game-breaker types.
They are. Every time they touch it, there's a chance it's going to go the distance. And I think that was a big need that we had, and we've addressed it. Now, on paper, these things look great. On highlight tapes, they look great. Let's grade this class in 2 years. That means we're going to have won more games, and we're going to be competing for championships. That's how you're going to grade these guys.
Okay, back to the offensive line, and Lane Williams from Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Lane is a state champion wrestler, so he's got that attitude. Another big kid. He's another 6'5" kid with some length. He played tackle for them. He could play tackle and guard for us. Really physical. He's got that nasty demeanor where he tries to finish you off and gore you in the ground.
He's one, and you've talked about this, when you bring kids in, you want them to see Albuquerque and see New Mexico. And starts with, as they're flying in, take a peek at the stadium, notice the mountains. He said, this looks like to be a gorgeous place to live. Albuquerque selling it for you. You
know, he did. He came in June when the dead period ended, and he really liked what he saw, so we kept recruiting him. He fell in love with our school and had a great time on his visit.
All right, a JC O-lineman, DJ Wingfield from L.A., California.
DJ Wingfield from El Camino. He's another young man that will be here in January. He's an inside guy, but he's 6'5". He can run. You'll see he's got really good feet right here. He's physical. Watch him right here. He's at the left tackle. Watch him pull, come around. I mean, we have some guys that have some strength that we've been missing, and they have an attitude to finish. So I'm excited about him. The fact that now we're working on getting him a third year. Eric Schultz works miracles, so no pressure, Eric. But he's going to be in our program, and he'll be here in January.
Hey, Lobo fans, download the new Sports app today. Access exclusive content, interviews with head football coach Deanna Gonzalez, live game broadcast, the latest stats and scores, prizes, and much more. It's the Lobo Sports app. It's free. Find it at the Apple Store and the Google Store. Download it now and go Lobos. We come back on the other side. We talk defense and 12 new recruits on that side of the football. It's our NLI Signing Day show. We're live at Revel Entertainment, and it's on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Hello again, fans. We're back live inside Revel Entertainment's Draft Day Sports Bar. It is our National Signing Day show. We're at 4720 Alexander Boulevard Northeast. Revel Entertainment, your home for Lobo Talk. It is the one-stop shop for food, drinks, live music, all right here under one roof. The official watch party location of UNM Athletics, your home for Lobo Talk throughout football and basketball seasons. And tonight's Signing Day show, Revel Entertainment. Congratulations to Michael and Cooper. Michael and Cooper are our winners of a Lobo prize pack tonight for coming out to see us here at our Signing Day show. We have Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez. I'm Robert Portnoy. Coach G, let's get right to the situation on defense. Here you've got key returners, Leatele, Wilson, Reed, Combs, Saltonstall. The red shirts who can be contributors, Lowry, Hanna, Barney, Haley. We already know what several of those guys can do because they played. So that's what you have coming back. Now let's take a look at the 12 recruits that you're bringing in on the defensive side of the ball here for 2021. It starts with Max Elkman from Dallas.
You know, we've really increased up front our length. Max is a 6'5" kid that creates some pressure off the edge. they're going to have a hard time blocking him because he's long, and he does a pretty good job with his arms. So he'll be able to close the pocket, get to the quarterback. I mean, there's an athletic move for a 6'5" kid. Coach Wareheim's going to try and make him a tight end.
So a defensive end here, a guy who's good at rushing the passer, obviously, and can he be a run stopper as well?
You can. I mean, you can't teach 6'5". You can't teach athletic ability. You just got to try and hold them in and get them to be good technicians so that when they're rushing guys like Donald Dixon, who's going to be really good, they can use their technique and get to the quarterback, because it will be a lot better in the secondary if those guys are good up front.
Okay, what about this young man, Christian Ellis from Jacksonville, Florida?
This is a safety that's an athlete. He could probably play multiple positions. We can play him at Wolf. We can play him inside at Lobo. He likes to come downhill and smack you. He's got some personality, which will be good for us on defense. And, I mean, he's a turnover machine. He's able to create turnovers by contact and also going and getting it out of the air.
He also was a two-way guy in high school, almost 1,500 rush yards, 1,600 all-purpose yards. Could he help you in some other areas too, potentially?
He can. You know, all these kids except for two are multi-sport athletes, and they play, for most of them, on both sides of the ball. So in special teams, he can do all those things, and he'll be a big addition. All
right, you mentioned Hunterhammacker earlier. He's an Albuquerque kid from La Cueva High School.
You know, he plays sideline to sideline. He's really physical. I mean, he's a great football player, and he's going to be a good linebacker. I mean, he reminds me of the days of, go back to Mike Mahork and Nick Spiegel, those guys. Now, he's not as tall as Nick, who's here in the audience, but Mike Mahork, he's kind of compacted like that. He's physical, and he can make a lot of plays, but he can run.
So he can run and make plays, and obviously here's a player that was right here in New Mexico. And is this someone that you've been on for a while?
We have, and you know, his dad is a legacy Lobo, David Hemaker, who I was a teammate with. So there's some Lobo history to it that helped. He's an Albuquerque kid, that helped, and he wants to be a Lobo, so that's great.
And speaking of the Lobo connections, we have another player, obviously, with Donovan Portery, helped get him here. So what about this? A.J. Halsey, a safety from Texas.
You know, he played all over the place. He plays a corner. He's got speed. I think he's one of those kids that we can move inside at a Lobo spot because he's physical. He's already 205 pounds. He's athletic enough to cover a number 3 wide receiver because he's done it out there at corner. He's physical enough to get in the box and teach him how to play with those 300-pounders. So I think we have a depth, a guy that we can put in the Lobo spot from the very beginning and see how he develops.
And as we talk about these guys, it's something that you do consistently. So many of them will also contribute on special teams, won't they?
Absolutely.
Okay, now Marquis Jones, a linebacker from Ocala, Florida.
Marquis Jones. So we had a gentleman by the name of Herbert Felder who was Ocala, Florida also. Marquis is about a 215-pound, 6'2", 6'3" linebacker. He's really athletic in space, so he'll be able to drop and take away the benders and make the quarterbacks throw the ball over so the safeties have a chance to get it. But he can run sideline to sideline. Watch him run by the linebackers right here and go get the running back on the screen. So he plays soccer, which in Florida the soccer is during the winter season right now, and then he runs track in the spring. So he's a multi-sport athlete, but he's a good football player.
And he also hasn't figured it out, Coach G. When asked why he came to New Mexico, he just put up your hashtag, Win5.
That's exactly right. That's the challenge. Here's Tyler Keaney from Los Lunas. Tyler obviously went to UCLA out of high school. He did it the right way, and we're glad to have him back here in Albuquerque.
So a Los Lunas High School star who did not play last year at UCLA. So you've got him with 4 years of eligibility? We
do, and he'll be here in January. He's actually already here in town. We can't work with him until January when the dead period ends. But he's physical. He was a teammate with Bryce Santana. That was a really good football team. I mean, Los Lunas is really building something. They're trying to challenge Rio Rancho for being that same classification. They're going to be up in 6A next year, so it's a good deal.
Okay, here we've got Jamarius Lewis from Mississippi.
Jamarius Lewis was an all-state defensive back in Mississippi, which has the most NFL players per capita. He is also the nephew of Glover Quinn, and Glover called me and told me, Coach, I got a nephew that can play for you. And so we started recruiting him immediately, and he's fast like Glover, really good football player, and he's determined to be better than his uncle. Well, his uncle just looks at him and says, man, when you're an 8-time NFL All-Pro safety and you lead the league in interceptions, let me know. And when you build an empire like I have, let me know. But until then, just go on, pup. Do your thing.
I love the legacy kids, though. Tyler Keaney's grandma's a UNM graduate. Now you've got Jamarius Lewis, his uncle, UNM graduate, UNM standout safety. Glover Quinn. Okay, Zack Morris, a corner.
Zack Morris is a corner that's about 6'2". He's got really good feet. He likes to be physical out there on the edge. He was a great baseball player. Can play center field, can run all over the place. So we know he's got good ball skills. He can judge the ball, but they can't block him, and he's not afraid to stick his neck in there. And then when he has to, he'll go get you. So we're excited. I mean, there's a chance because of his stature and because of his size, he'll have a chance to come in and compete and be able to play. Now, if he can adjust to the speed of the game, then he'll have a chance. If he can't, then he'll develop, and we'll see what he does as the future goes.
And I love his quote, I want to help put UNM back on the map.
Back on the map is exactly right.
Okay, David Roye, a defensive end from Oklahoma City.
He is now. He's a big old joker. He's 6'5". He's 260 pounds. He's a mid-year high school kid who will be here in January. Nigerian, got a great personality. I mean, it's the first recruit I've ever had to ask on this recruiting trip, Coach, which coaches are in the press box? I mean, who cares about that as a high school kid? But he's very detailed, and he wants to know everything. And he's big inside. He's long. He's got some really long arms. So with him and Max, we've really addressed our size inside there. And then Tyler, we're bigger up front than we were.
It's impressive that he's thinking along with you and where your staff is. Okay, Bryson Taylor, a corner. This is a Georgia kid.
This is a young man out of Georgia that Terrence Mathis helped us with, another legacy connection. Coach Reffett did a great job of building a relationship with him. Basketball player, track, athlete. He's another kid that's going to run sub 600 meters. He's long, but he can cover in space, and that's really important. The better we get up front, obviously these guys don't have to cover as long, but if you've got some guys that can cover, you can stop people from doing a whole bunch of things on defense.
Pretty sharp kid, too. He picked UNM because of majors that were offered that interest him. There are options. He's already thinking about his post-football life as well. Good stuff there. Okay, Kalyn Woods from Fremont. That's the Bay Area, Oakland, California.
It is. He's a young man from Oakland. He's about 6'2". He can run. He's got great ball skills. Another one that's going to be a 700-meter kid. He's physical. He's a little skinny, so we're going to have to put some weight on him. But he's got a long frame. He's got really long arms. But he's got great hips for being so tall.
How does a player that comes from the Bay Area in Northern California say something like, UNM feels like home to me?
I think it was the atmosphere. Him and Dad came out on the visit. I thought they had a great time. He's not afraid to go get the balls. You see him right there. If you remember J.L. Skinner from Boise State, very similar build to that young man. Now, we recruited that kid out of Point Loma, so very familiar with him and very similar.
Okay, this family is going to be important for Lobo football. Tate Zimmerman from Irvine, California.
He's got a great family, and this is one of those kids that when we were at San Diego State, we were biased. Orange County, we traditionally tried to really be particular with these kids. And Tate Zimmerman, his family's great. Dad's a pastor. Brother's going to be here also. He went to Black Hills College out of South Dakota. He's going to walk on and be a wide receiver in the spring. Tate's physical, runs sideline to sideline. One of Coach Reffett's college teammates put him onto this kid, and it really turned out great. Family came for a couple weekends. Great family, and fits right into our culture.
And that's exactly what he said, Coach, that he felt like the culture at the University of New Mexico would be a good fit for him.
You know, the character can really help your football team and hurt your football team. And it takes just one or two bad ones to create a divide. If you've got a really strong culture, your culture will weed out the ones that are not good for you. And so our kids, when I say they're the most important part of recruiting, when we send them out on the town with those guys and they have to be back by midnight, they come back and tell us whether they're good guys or bad guys. And if they're bad guys, we're not recruiting them. I don't care how much the coaches like them, how much they've invested. If the kids don't like them, we're not recruiting them.
When you met with the media earlier today, you said something I thought was really interesting. You said, take a look at what the players are doing when they're not looking at you, when you're not interacting with them, and that can tell you a lot about them.
You know, we try and tell our kids every day that they're evaluated every day in every way. And it's when you don't think you're being watched the hardest. And when kids come in on the recruiting trips, I want them to watch the coaches when they're interacting with other families, with their parents, or when they're interacting with coaches. Are they being the same? Are they being different? And you can find out how genuine people are.
Okay, Coach, it's time for us to take our final timeout. When we come back on the other side, we're going to put a ribbon on this 2021 class. I also want to ask you about the remaining scholarships and what you think you'd like to do with those. You told us today, the media today, you said that there's actually another player that you think will sign as early as tomorrow.
I do. Go to our Twitter and look at the last commitment we got, and I would say expect him tomorrow. I mean, that's all I can say about him, but it's up there.
All right, so we can talk about that tomorrow officially, and then obviously you said 8 total available?
We still have 8 scholarships. I would guess the young man that we're hoping tomorrow, if I had to guess, he's probably 6'5", 260-pound tight end, so hopefully.
Very good. Okay, we'll look for that. We come back on the other side. We wrap it up. We're live at Revel Entertainment, and we welcome back Lobo football coach Gonzalez for a final segment. On the other side, it's our NLI Signing Day show live at Revel on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
Jack Thompson here, president of Auto Care Collision and Repair. 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Hello again for a final time. We're live inside Revel Entertainment's Draft Day Sports Bar. It is our National Signing Day show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez. Revel Entertainment, food, drinks, live music, all under one roof. The official watch party location of Lobo Athletics is Revel Entertainment. Congratulations to Michael. Michael, you're a winner of a prize pack here tonight inside Revel. If you're still with us, put a hand up. Our Lobo marketing department will come find you and get your goodies. And thanks so much for being here with us tonight. Also, quick heads up, if you're in-house right now with us, stay tuned. At the conclusion of the show, we've got a special presentation, and Coach G is going to talk with you, and he's got a couple of goodies up here that he's going to give away to some fans tonight. I think you really want to be a part of that. We've got a signed Lobo football helmet and a signed Lobo football as well from Coach Gonzalez, so that will come when we wrap things up. Okay, Coach G, just a couple of short minutes remaining on our program here on the UNM Sports Radio Network. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube as well, and thanks to everybody for tuning in. It's such a big day for Lobo football, so let's look ahead. The fans have seen highlight reels of the 24 signees. You've told us that there's a tight end likely coming tomorrow, and then that leaves you said as we went to break, there are 8 spots left in terms of this year's signing class. What are your goals with that last remaining group, and how long do you think it'll take for you to start knocking those out?
We've already started knocking some of them out. 4-4 transfers or grad transfers don't have to sign NLIs. They can sign grant aids. They can show up on the day of school. We will have a grad transfer quarterback or a 4-4 quarterback. That'll be here in January.
Explain that 4-4.
So they're at a 4-year school with that new rule that they have a one-time transfer without having to sit out. We'll get one of those. Either they decide they want to move on for other reasons like Tyler, or they've graduated and they want to play somewhere else. You've got some FCF kids like CJ who wants to go up and play Division FBS football. So we'll have some of those, and there's too many coaches nowadays sitting at home on a computer hitting refresh on the portal. We ain't doing that. We're going to go out there and turn over rocks and find great players. So we'll use January to continue to fill those 8 spots, but also spring recruit next year's juniors so we have a chance to get a head start before spring recruiting starts in April.
Okay, so 4-4, 4 years to play 4.
Yep.
And obviously grad transfer quarterback, you said. Any other specific needs in there?
You know, we've still got a spot for a DB. We've still got a spot for 2 wide receivers. If something happens over the next couple of days, we would have a spot for a tight end. We've still got 1 more spot for a D lineman. And then we will use the last 3 as the best available players that we find either before February 2nd or after spring ball when there's people that decide that they need an opportunity elsewhere.
The efforts that go into making this happen, we talked with Coach Somerville. Your coaches are amazing. Just give us an idea of the overall system, the engine that drives this recruiting machine, because it's not an easy thing, and you guys make it look seamless. And I know there are spreadsheets and all kinds of things behind the scenes.
Well, there is, and I learned this years and years ago from Coach Long. If you want to be a great coach, you better have great players. And so you have to be willing to outwork people. You have to be willing, especially here at the University of New Mexico, where we're not going to get the blue chippers. We're going to find kids that are going to become blue chippers. So we have to evaluate and project. Well, we evaluate as a full staff so that we don't make mistakes. More eyes on them will eliminate the amount of kids we bring in that can't play, that we miss up on. And so it's a year process that starts, and we're already looking at next year's juniors and getting ready to offer kids for next year's class. So this class will be graded in 2 years, and then next class we'll do the same thing next year at this time.
Coach Gonzalez, congratulations on your 2021 class. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you always, Robert. I appreciate it.
Thanks to Jared Hart and Evan Baker, my on-site engineers, Mike Vitale, my producer and engineer in our studios, Chase Christensen, who directed and put everything together on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube Live. Thank you to all of you fans for coming out tonight here at Revel Entertainment to watch this National Signing Day show with Lobo football coach Danny Gonzalez. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. We'll be back here tomorrow night, 7 to 8 p.m. for Lobo Talk. We talk Lobo basketball with you on the UNM Sports Radio Network. So long, everybody, and go Lobos.